Now you mentioned that all the students when they first start are going to have to go through that residency program,
Right.
that 4-day
That's right.
program. What exactly goes on during that?
Oh, a lot. When I think of the 4 days coming up, it's jam-packed. They're staying in a local hotel. They come to campus. They're in sessions starting with a basic convocation in the morning. They're greeted by university officials. And then we go into things like the use of the library. Mountain State has a variety of online databases and access for students, so they learn how to do that and using the technology. And actually they start a class, their first research class starts this weekend. I'm teaching that. It's called Culture of Inquiry. So they'll get 12 hours of contact there over the 4 days that we break up and spread, looking at things like critical thinking, those kinds of skills, research skills. And then when they leave, there'll be assignments, so they'll finish that up over the next 2 weeks. In addition, we have an activity on the second day where they really do a lot of reflection. They do a lot of sharing about their own life experiences. And what we are trying to do is, as we prepare them for roles of leadership, you start with self and know thyself and learning about yourself and being able to share that, because we can take that in addition to some of the self-assessments they'll do, like the Myers-Briggs, DISC, or the emotional intelligence, EQI. So we're giving them insights into themselves that is also going to be important for them to become more effective leaders in the future. So there's a lot of that kind of activity. We also have a presentation on Saturday afternoon. In addition, Dean White will talk about the scholar practitioner, which is, again, this model that we're really focused on. Dr. George Walker, who's coming from Cleveland State, he used to be with the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching, and he was one of the chairs of the committee that studied the future of the doctorate, reinventing the doctorate. So he comes and participates and talks with students and interacts. They have some time to learn about meditation and dealing with stress issues during the doctoral program. They will finish up on Monday meeting their mentor, as well as interacting with some of the current doctoral students, so they'll get a taste of the reality there. So it's that kind of activity. It's both orientation, it's also beginning to create that intellectual community that they'll be an active part of over the next 3 years.
Well, that's a very intense 4 days that they'll be participating
Absolutely.
in.
And the notion that came out of the formation of scholars is that we're trying to create stewards of the discipline of leadership. And stewards are people who both conserve knowledge, generate knowledge, and transform knowledge. So if you're looking at the discipline of leadership, we expect to create people who are actively engaged in the practice of leadership, but also adding to the scholarly body of knowledge about leadership.
Now, I heard that after the first cohort of students had their residency, they said that just after those 4 days, they were more focused,
Right.
more balanced and empowered. Talk, if you would, a little bit about that.
Well, it was interesting. You know, you never know the kind of impact you're going to have, and certainly in a doctoral program that runs 3 years, you think that maybe you'll see results over time. Within the first week of the cohort members completing the residency, when they were going back to work, people were saying, you know, there's something different about you. You're already showing up differently. And I think part of it was we do emphasize this notion of developing your critical thinking skills and being able to analyze and understand problems and issues in different ways, and thinking differently, thinking more scholarly about issues and not just from an emotional point of view. I think the other part is we do emphasize emotional intelligence, and as you know, it's been a very hot topic now for about 10 years. We've always, or at least for a long time, we talk about IQ, and that's more intellectual intelligence. But Dan Goldman, going back into the 90s, has written about what is called emotional intelligence. And there are 5 aspects of that. One is that you have to be self-aware. So self-awareness, you also have to be able to regulate yourself. So self-regulation, understanding your intrinsic motivations, understanding empathy and empathizing with others, and social skills. So we're trying throughout what we're doing to develop the emotional intelligence, and then we have a whole set of competencies, leadership competencies, that's listed on our website. And these are things that the School of Leadership have basically said, these are the competencies that leaders really should possess in some combination, and you learn how to use those in appropriate settings. So a lot of knowledge to be acquired, but also internalized and then applied.
All right. We have to take one more short break, but we're going to talk a little bit more about leadership and also diversity in the workplace, which you've touched on before. So stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.